All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're pulling out something most of us carry every single day,
Yeah,
that little piece of plastic, the credit card.
that's right. And we're digging into some source material that offers a pretty sharp, maybe even critical look at them.
It really does. It challenges the usual narrative.
Yeah, totally. This analysis basically asks a provocative question. What if credit cards weren't really designed for you, the user, but more to, well, increase spending and boost profits for the banks?
And that's pretty much our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack that idea from this material, pull out the key claims it makes about how these cards actually work and, the strategies maybe hidden within them.
It's interesting when you look back, the source points out that, like in the 1950s, it wasn't about building credit at all. It was much more straightforward. Just make spending easier than cash, encourage more of it.
Right. And the psychology is a huge piece of it, isn't it? Handing over plastic just feels different, less real somehow.
Yeah, the source cites research suggesting people do spend significantly more when using a card versus cash. There's this sort of intentional detachment built in.
So it's not just convenience then.
No, not entirely. The material argues the system is fundamentally built to generate profit,
Yeah.
mostly from debt and various fees.
Okay, so let's break that down. How does this source say that profit engine actually works? It's got to be more than just the annual fee some cards have.
Oh, definitely. The biggest chunk, according to this analysis, comes from interest.
Hmm.
Those APRs can be incredibly high if you carry a balance month to month.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got all the fees, late payment fees, going over your limit. Little mistakes for you become, well, pretty significant income for the bank.
And there's one people often forget, right? The merchant fees.
Exactly. Every
Yeah.
time you swipe that card, the store, the business, pays a percentage back to the bank.
Multiply that by billions, maybe trillions of transactions globally.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive revenue stream. Kind of hidden from the cardholder, mostly.
This analysis also casts a skeptical eye on things presented as benefits, doesn't it? Like balance transfers or cash advances.
It does. It points out they often come with high upfront fees or maybe no grace period on the interest.
Yeah.
The argument is they're designed less as a simple fix for you and more to keep you tangled in the bank system where you're, profitable.
Right. Almost like you become the product in those situations.
That's the perspective, yeah.
Okay, so if those are the main ways banks profit, according to the source, where does it say the real traps are hidden? Often in that tiny print nobody reads.
Well, a big one highlighted is the grace period, that interest-free time.
Yeah.
The source stresses that if you ever carry a balance, even once, that grace period on new purchases often just vanishes.
Mhm.
Interest can start piling up immediately on everything.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's sneaky.
And then the classic trap, the minimum payment. It seems helpful, small, manageable.
But it's designed to keep you in debt for years. Right. Paying way more in interest.
Precisely. Vastly more than you originally spent. Another one mentioned is the 0% introductory rate.
Always tempting.
Very. But the material warns that rate can jump sky high if you miss a payment deadline, sometimes even by a single day.
And what about this concept of universal default? That sounds serious.
Yeah, the analysis explains that. It means being late on any bill, maybe your phone bill, something totally unrelated, could potentially trigger your credit card APR to shoot up. Because the agreement you signed links your rate to your overall creditworthiness, not just how you handle that specific card.
So the terms aren't just rules, they're levers the bank can pull based on your whole financial picture.
That's the argument. It shows the leverage the bank holds if you're not really careful and aware.
But here's where the analysis pivots a bit, which I found interesting. It doesn't just say credit cards are bad, run away.
No, not at all. It actually argues they can be powerful tools if, and it's a big if you use them very differently, like the kind of customer banks apparently don't make their big profits from.
Okay, so how do those people use them, according to this source?
It really boils down to control. The absolute key insight presented is pay the statement balance in full, every single month. No exceptions.
Treat it like a debit card, basically. Only spend what you already have.
Essentially, yes. Use it for spending you've already budgeted for. It becomes just a payment method funded by money you actually possess, not a loan.
And then you can actually leverage the system they've built.
Exactly. If you have that discipline, the material shows how you can benefit from their own system. Get the rewards, the cash back, the travel points, the perks. It describes people who kind of turn the tables using the bank's incentives against their primary profit model, which relies on interest and fees.
So it's a total mindset shift. Not using the card to borrow, but using it strategically for planned spending and rewards while dodging all those interest charges and fees.
That's the core message for avoiding the pitfalls.
Okay, so let's sort of wrap this up. The source material we explored paints a really clear, maybe stark picture. Credit cards. Powerful tools, yes, but also designed very strategically for banks to profit, often from user missteps involving interest, fees, and those tricky terms buried in the agreement.
Yeah, the fundamental tension is right there. Banks make money when you carry debt or slip up on fees. The alternative path this analysis suggests is all about strict control. Pay it off completely, spend only what you plan to spend anyway, and grab those rewards without falling into the traps.
So it's really about using their system for your benefit instead of the other way around, making it work for you. Which leads to a final thought drawn from this material. If banks are, in a way, betting you'll slip up so they can profit, what's one intentional step you can take starting today to make absolutely sure your credit card serves your financial goals and not theirs? Something to think about. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.